Welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to talk about CloudTrail. AWS CloudTrail is a service that enables governance, compliance, operational auditing, and risk auditing for your AWS account. So, if we have to define AWS in a simple terms, we can look it in a way where a service that can take care of, or it monitors all the kind of activities that happens at the AWS infrastructure. So whether if a person is going to log on to us to an application, or they are logging on to any host or any trying to use a service, they are even even if they are modifying any resources like EC2 capacity, or let's say they are creating a S3 bucket, all those things gets logged on. Now, not only that, if there has been certain kind of changes on the AWS resource during some deployment, that also gets recorded. So what can we do with these log trails? With these log trails, you can actually look for a compliance auditing. You can actually look for some troubleshooting steps, because sometimes what happens that the infrastructure team goes and make changes in the infrastructure environment, and then the application starts misbehaving. So in order to find out those RCAs, in order to make sure that you and your team are in complete control of your AWS resources, you can actually go and dig into those logs and can find out what could be the root cause of any issues or challenges that you are facing with your AWS environment. Another thing that can be done with the CloudTrail is security analytics, and how it can be done. You can actually look for the kind of traffic which is going through your AWS resources or coming in, and then you can make certain checkpoints using CloudWatch, and once that CloudWatch events can trigger emails or alerts for you, you can come to know if there is some kind of security breach. Now with CloudTrail, you can log, continuously monitor, and retain account activity related to actions across your AWS infrastructure. The CloudTrail provides event history of your AWS account activity, including actions taken through AWS Management Console, AWS SDKs, command line tools, and other AWS services. So as I mentioned earlier, that we can go ahead and look for compliance aid, security analysis, operational issue troubleshooting, and data exfiltration. So let's discuss all these things one by one. So AWS CloudTrails makes it easy to ensure compliance with internal policies and regulatory standards by providing a history of activity in your AWS accounts. You can store all these AWS account CloudTrails in S3 bucket, and later you can make analysis out of it, and then based on the analysis you can keep your environment more compliant with respect to the internal company policies, as well as if there are certain regulatory norms which you have to follow. You can also perform security analysis and detect user behavior patterns by ingesting AWS CloudTrail events into your log management and analytics solutions. So that is also possible, and you can detect data exfiltration by collecting activity data on S3 objects through object level API events recorded in CloudTrail. And once the activity data is collected, you can use other AWS services like Amazon CloudWatch events and Amazon Lambda to trigger response procedures. So which is a very powerful way of detecting any kind of data breach or any kind of compliance which is not up to the mark, and you want to detect, and you want to make sure that gets highlighted in your view. So that is very much essential to make this kind of arrangement in your environment. Then you can troubleshoot operational issues by leveraging the AWS API calls history produced by AWS CloudTrail. So let's say, for example, you can quickly identify the most recent changes made to resources in your environment, including creation, modification, and deletion of AWS resources. So let's say if your Amazon EC2 instance or Amazon VPC security groups and Amazon EBS volumes, they gets changed, you may get some security alerts. If you have clubbed it with the AWS CloudWatch, you can also get a triggering event, like you can club these events with Lambda services, and Lambda can trigger one more service or an alarm which can make certain behavioral changes in your cloud environment. So all those things are very much possible. You can actually enhance your security groups, you can look for detailed analysis. So those things are very much essential, and everything can be done through CloudTrail because it comes with a vast amount of uh, logging, and all those logs you can always store and can act on it and can review, and you can also do lots of filtering and analysis on those logs. So depending upon your use case, you can make sure what is the desired output and how it can be efficiently used. So hope this lecture was useful uh, for your understanding, and we'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.